Good evening, members of the committee. This is Kevin Riper from the Finance Department. The topic tonight is a proposed City Council policy for the Internal Control Integrated Framework relating to information and communication. The recommendation is that the Finance and Governance Committee provide feedback on a proposed City Council policy for Internal Control Integrated Framework, information and communication, and recommend that City Council approve the proposed policy. Just two items to talk about this evening. Overall policies associated with the ICIF, that's our acronym for Internal Control Integrated Framework, and adoption of this specific policy, or discussion of adoption by full City Council of this specific policy for information and communication of internal controls. Just a quick refresher, previous policies associated with the Internal Control Integrated Framework that full City Council adopted on September 1st of last year, along with the first four policies, are shown under COSO Category A, the control environment. We came back to the Finance and Governance Committee in December and the full City Council in January of this year to present the City Council's risk assessment responsibilities policy. And then a couple of months later, development and implementation of internal controls. And now we're at the next to last step of City Council policies associated with the Internal Control Integrated Framework, and that is the Information and Communication Policy, which is designed to demonstrate commitment from the top to transparent and complete information and communication. At the end of the presentation this evening, I'll discuss the very last City Council policy, which is creation of a monitoring system. That's coming up later this year. Two aspects of the recommended policy that is attached to the staff report in your agenda packet. The recommended policy defines full council's internal control activities as they relate to the information and communication of internal controls to the outside world, especially the public, interested parties like rating agencies, financial analysts, and anyone else looking at the city's finances and internal controls. The key element of the policy attached to the agenda packet, and that's proposed for your recommendation that council approve it, is that the council reaffirms its commitment to hold management accountable for providing full and transparent financial information to the public. That's the guts of the policy. Next steps on the Internal Control Integrated Framework. This spring, maybe early this summer, depending on how much time is taken up by the fiscal year 21-22 proposed budget as it consumes Finance Department staff, is to engage a consulting firm to perform a comprehensive risk assessment for the city. And that relates to a previous policy that I summarized. That was the City Council's Risk Assessment Responsibilities Policy, which full council adopted at the beginning of January. That policy called for conducting a citywide risk assessment so that risk management activities can be broadened to encompass internal control risk and other kinds of risk, in addition to what the Human Resources Department already oversees. And then in the fall, we intend to bring the final Internal Control Integrated Framework policy first to this committee and then to full City Council. And as I mentioned a couple of minutes ago, that's going to concern monitoring activities. How does council monitor? How does council track? How does management know? How does management track? And how can the public be confident that the ICIF is being followed on an ongoing basis? That's the final ICIF policy for this committee and full City Council to consider. To recap the recommendation for this evening, Finance and Governance Committee provide feedback on the proposed council policy for Internal Control Integrated Framework, information and communication, and we recommend that, and please recommend that City Council approve that proposed policy. That concludes my presentation. Thank you very much.